Hi there. Good afternoon, everyone. Can anybody see me? I'm just having some technical issues. I can't see. If somebody could say hi to me in the chat room so I know that you're here. Hi there. How are you? Oh.
You there? Okay.
Hi there. I'm so sorry. I've had some real technical issues trying to get this started today. My name's Nicole. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm so sorry. It's been a bit of a schmozzle. I was sitting in the wrong chat room to start with. I'm wondering where everyone was. I had a couple of links, so I'm so sorry. Just getting everybody in here. How are you all today? Did you... just adding everybody in. Okay, so I think that's everybody. You can hear some background noise. We've got here today, I can see Kelly and Diane and Darcy, Charles, Haynes, Accounts 1, Deborah, Lynn, Barbara, Tammy and Helen. Hi everyone, welcome to today. Just making sure I've got everyone. Okay, so what I'm going to do is mute you all. Just waiting for who's
I was going to say, you better not mute me.
No, that's right. Thanks, Diane. Yeah. So everybody, this is Diane who's having a chat with us today. And I think I've got everyone going now. Thanks, Diane, for your patience, and apologies again that my technical skills weren't that great today, which is funny considering the topic. So I'll mute myself and let you go ahead with the talk. And
okay, all right. You have to share your screen. Let me share. Let me just. Okay. What am I sharing? Where am I? Okay, good. We've got the right screen up. Excellent. Okay. Now where's my... So, everyone can see a screen now, I'm hoping. Have you muted yourself there, have you, Kelly? All right, anyway, okay, I'm going to go.
There you go. Sorry. Yep, we can see your screen. You're all good.
Okay, excellent, good. All right. Well, this is pretty informal. So we're all just jumped in now. So I don't know how many you are on there, 17 or so. So what I'm going to do today is introduce you to QuickBooks Online Accountant platform. So you should be familiar with the software QuickBooks Online, which is an accounting platform, so it's an online platform. But we also have the QuickBooks Online Accountant component to that, which is your platform to actually deal with your customers. You can use it to use as a work tab, so you can do your workflow through it. You can engage with new customers through it. You can do certification. So it's a whole gamut of different things, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So a little bit about me. My name's Diane Lucas. I have a bookkeeping practice called Direct Management. I'm based down here in freezing cold Cranbourne, which is an hour out of Melbourne. For those of you who are, Victorian based at the moment, we're sitting in, what is it, midday, and it's still like 5 or 6 degrees. It's freezing. And yes, I've been running a bookkeeping practice for 12 years, or something like that. So there's 6 of us all together, and we're predominantly QuickBooks Online, about 95% QuickBooks Online, and made that decision some years ago to move all our clients to the cloud. And then have focused on QuickBooks Online for about the last 4 years or so. So I've been working with Intuit since they came to Australia in 2012-13, yeah, love the program, and hopefully you'll love what I show you today as well. So on what you can see on your screen is your best friend page. It's QuickBooks Online homepage, really. So bookmark this page, intuit.com.au. Okay, so make sure if you're wanting to find out more about Intuit, who's the parent company of QuickBooks, or about the program itself online, then intuit.com.au is a good place to start. So that takes you to the home page, and you can, this is also what I tell my clients to log on to, or to open up a browser and check out this page. Because there's lots of good stuff here, and it will help your clients understand a bit more about the program as well. So from yourselves, what Intuit offer is, someone's tapping away there, which is a bit disturbing. So whoever's tapping, either mute yourself or stop tapping. That'd be great. Thank you. So from a bookkeeper accountant perspective, you can become a pro advisor with Intuit QuickBooks Online, and you can see here the accountants bookkeepers tab, and we've got partner program there. So before you can engage into the QuickBooks Online accountant platform, which I'm going to demonstrate to you, you do need to be a pro advisor, so you do need to join the partner program. It is free, and it's very easy to do so. So you either click on the partner program and start yourself, or as a client, they may want to invite you into their file as an accountant user. So if that's the case, then if it's the very first time, then that will automatically kick you into the partner program system and give you access to QuickBooks Online Accountant. All right, so I'm already obviously a partner in this demo file that I'm going to show you. So the next step is really to sign into the program. So on the top right hand corner there, you can see our sign in. It actually shows QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Online Accountant. So this online is basically for your client use, and this is one that we would click on. To be honest, it doesn't really matter which one you click on. It'll take you both take you to our sign-in screen anyway. So you can see here, this is the sign-in screen, and what I recommend you do is bookmark this screen. So the recommended browser for QuickBooks Online is Chrome. So if you're familiar with Chrome, you should know how to bookmark. Simply by clicking on the top right-hand corner, there's a bookmark star, and this page is already bookmarked. And then if you show the bookmarks bar, you can see the shortcut there to get into the login screen. So that stops you from having to open up this page, click on sign in, and do another click. So if you just go straight to a tab and click on your short link to sign in, then it's dead easy. So what we'll do is quickly sign in. Everything's already saved, nice and easy. This next screen, you'll see that there's two breakups here. we've got QuickBooks Online Accountant and then QuickBooks Companies. You may or may not, once you become have access to QuickBooks Online Accountant, you may or may not see this. And the distinction is that the QuickBooks Accountant login is where we're going to go. That's your platform which holds all of your clients. These two under here are two files that I have access to as a regular user, not an accountant user. Okay, so the idea is your clients will invite you in to access their file as an accountant user. So everything then sits underneath your consolidated QuickBooks Online Accountant account. And you'll see why that's important later. So if anyone's, if you've got clients who have QuickBooks Online and they want you to do the work for them, then you just simply say to them, can you invite me into the file? And when you go into Manage Users, there's two tabs, and make sure you invite me in as an accountant user. So just opening that up. Okay, so this is the consolidation page of all the different clients under this particular file here. And you can see I've got different names here, and these have actually come from the Your Books, which we'll talk about in a moment. But you can see that there's a menu on the left-hand side. We've got several columns here, our list of clients, the status of them, and some other areas here. So if we scroll down, for example, you can see here there's a little QB sign. So that means that this file, this particular customer is actually a QuickBooks user. And then as we scroll down, the one that we're going to be looking at is the file called I Love My Job. And again, it's a QuickBooks file, and if I hover on it, you can see there it's a QuickBooks Plus version. So QuickBooks comes in 3 different versions: Simple, Start, Essentials, and Plus. Plus being the top range, and this is a particular file is a Plus file. And then here we can see that there's some the transactions to be checked out, and when the last activities were. So we can see here that's the For Review tab and the Banking tab. So it's giving me a little bit of information about this particular file. So what we can do is we can go into looking at the top here. We always know that we're in our QuickBooks Online Accountant platform by this green bar. Okay, and it says Accountant in the left-hand corner. So if you've got access to a file and it says QuickBooks on the top left instead of Accountant, then you're accessing that file as a regular user and not an accountant user. Also, you'll know that you're accessing it as a regular user if you're not entering the file through this page here, which consolidates all your clients. Okay, so two things to look out for to be distinctive. Make sure you've got the green bar across the top. You've got your list of your clients, and it says Accountant in the left-hand corner. So moving across the top here, we can search for, well actually I'll ignore that for the moment, but we can add clients here as well, and we've got a plus sign here which allows us to do things. We can create a new client, so the same as that other green button there, and we can add a new user here as well, and which I'll talk about. Our settings gear icon allows us to do various bits and pieces, and these bits here are to do with the free file that you have. So if you look at our left-hand side, it says Your Books. Now this Your Books is a free file that, as a QuickBooks Online Accountant user, Intuit provide for you free of charge, and you can use that file for your own practice accounting, or you could use that as a demo file or whatever you like to do that with. So these settings here relate to the free Your Books. Under the grey area, Your Company, are areas to do with the accountant access area. So your account is the account that you have with Intuit, and it holds all of your clients. So the ones that you're actually paying the subscription for will sit under your account, And as a what do you call it, a partner with Intuit, a pro advisor with Intuit, using QuickBooks Online Accountant, you have what we say is you have access to wholesale billing. So you can add a client on to your account where you hold the subscription, and the charge to you is at a reduced rate of 50%. So the wholesale rate to you as a pro advisor for all files is 50% of the recommended retail price. So, for example, the Plus recommended retail is at $35. So $17.50 is your cost, which allows you then either to make some dollars on it or to pass those savings on to your client, or pass a decent amount of that savings or whatever onto your client. So I, for example, depending on the client and depending on the circumstances, will often charge the full price, or I'll actually reduce the price that I'm charging if I'm consolidating files. So, for example, if I've got a client that I'm bringing in that has 3 entities, I'll probably consolidate the 3 at $20 each, for example, so 3 files for $60. And it costs me, $17.50 times 3, whatever that happens to be. All right, so and you're still making a bit of money there, but it enables a more reasonably feed access for clients to bring more files across. Okay. All right, so let's have a quick look at the next one. I'm just going to skip around here for a minute. There's lots to show you, and we've only got limited time, and I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do it. So I've just lost an email that I was referring to, but that's okay. I'll dig that up in a moment. Okay, so when you get onto this area here, as I said, you've got your list of files. So before we jump into what that actually means, the next thing is team. So on the left-hand side, we've got clients, which we just saw the list of, and then we've got team. So there's an important distinction to make when we're thinking about QuickBooks Online Accountant access as opposed to a regular business owner access. So when a client invites you in as an accountant user, ideally, if you've got a team working for you, it should go to a single address which represents that firm. So, for example, in direct management, all our client invites get sent to diane@directm.com.au, which is me, and so I own the QBOA file, and then I can invite in my team members to access the different client files. So rather than having each team member have individual access to a client file, it goes to one consolidated email address, and then that consolidated email address has team members underneath it, which then get access to the files. So you can see here the team member is myself, and I can send an invite out to someone else. They would get an email. So you'd see here the status is invited. They would accept that email, and then they would sit here as a team member. So, for example, then as a team member, I've just clicked on that name, and then you can provide them with client access. So as the administrator of this file, I have full access to all my clients, and I can undo those accesses if I wanted to. But if I, which I don't have an active member because I haven't sent it to a real email address, but if I have another team member on here, the same thing applies. So if I just click on add user, so I'm pretending to invite a new person in, I could say, so new team at, say, user2 at myfirm.com. And click on next, and I can invite this person in to have different levels of access. So it's quite simple here. You can read that yourself, but you can play with these to provide different levels of access. Okay, so if you only want someone to have limited access, they can't change anything to do with your firm, and they can only do things, only basically have access to the clients they're given, then you would give them basic access. So let's just click on next. And at this point here, we can say, okay, well, which clients do I want that person to have access to? So they only have 3 clients that they're looking at, or just the one, which I'm going to tick. So I only want to give them access to 1 client, and I can modify that access at a later point. Okay, so if I now send that email off, then the person accessing that file, accepting that invitation, will only have access to that 1 client file that I've given them access to. And once they accept, I can then give them extra access as well. Okay, so that's about the team members. The next step is the Pro Advisor. So as a user, as a Pro Advisor user, you have access to lots of good stuff, and that this area here is the best place to actually see what sort of things you have access to. So letting it wind itself up. Okay. So this particular user here that I'm under, I'm not certified. So you can see very quickly we've got a bronze tier. So this is something new that Intuit have brought out. They've brought out tiering, so bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and it has different levels depending on number of files that you have, certification levels, those sort of things. And there's different benefits to each of those tiers. You can also see here the company ID number. So this is a file that ID. So each file has a particular ID number. And again, as I said, this status is not certified. So the benefits to you as a Pro Advisor is to actually become certified. And what we're doing today is the pathway to, or we're sort of giving an overview, which is the beginnings of the pathway to certification. So once you're into this area here and you want to become certified, I would encourage you... I have very few wants. Oops, my Siri just turned on. I would encourage you to do this online certification, the pathways. So you can download the certification workbook. So the sort of things I'm going through today are very in-depthly covered in this PDF. It's a quite substantial manual, and you'd definitely benefit from downloading that because there's a lot of stuff in there and probably not everything that I'll be able to cover off on today as well. So in order to do the pathways, you would follow through on these modules. So there's 4 video links here that you would then be able to follow through and basically follow it with the manual, which will give you a good overview of what the QuickBooks Online Accountant platform is all about, over and above what we're covering off on today. And once you've done that, then definitely move on to the next certifications. You've got Pro Advisor certification, what we call our core certification. And then we've got, after you've done that, then you can do the advanced certification. So there's 3 different levels there. The initial one, which is just the beginnings, an understanding level, and then the actual certifications themselves. So once you complete certification, it actually assists you move up these tiers, and also allows you to complete what we call the Pro Advisor portal. So if I just hover on the top right-hand corner here, you can see this little icon, and we'll look at that a little bit later on. But if you're a Pro Advisor, you definitely want to set yourself up in this configuration. And as I said, we'll check back into that one. But that allows you to be found by users who want to actually get some training and assistance from people who know how to use QuickBooks. So I've had quite a lot of people find me that way, and it's usually training and setup, so it's a higher charge out rate than bookkeeping. So of course it's a nice little revenue earner as well, but you want to make sure that you can be found. So going back to this Pro Advisor portal here, you can see here we've got the certification which we've talked about, and we've got some other tabs here as well. So we've got the support, and support is excellent within Intuit as well. So we actually have a phone line, dedicated phone line. So as a Pro Advisor, you can call that number during those hours, and someone will pick it up, and they pick up generally, you know, probably the most wait I've ever really had is probably 5 minutes, and you can address your issues directly with a real person, and that person is based in Sydney, which is lovely. And an example of the support, if there's something that's going a bit, I don't know, screwy with the file, then they'll jump in and do a share screen with you to actually have a look at that problem together with you, rather than you trying to explain it over the phone and getting crossed wires. So definitely phone support is brilliant. Then you've also got the live chat here. So if you prefer to do a chat function rather than a phone call, then you can do that as well. My recommendation is go straight to the phone line. As I said, the waits are really short and the attention is immediate. So it's just, I find that it's a lot faster and you get your message across a lot faster than doing a chat function as well. Okay, so then there's other bits and pieces, the hovers you can see here, they're changing. Do a click through those as well. Resources, plenty of resources here to help you set up your business, get you, moving with QuickBooks Online, and just in general getting you involved in the QuickBooks community and getting you more involved in the different programs that can assist with QuickBooks Online as well. So say, for example, T-Sheets is a time tracking app which you can use in your practice as well, and those sorts of things. So different things that you can see there. So once again, have a look through. And then there's also marketing. So these are different ideas that you can use. So there's different brochures you can download to assist you if you wanted to have a workshop with some clients, or whatever it might be, you'll be able to do that. So if you also want to do email templating, for example, you want to set up a signature that involves QuickBooks, all those sort of things, anything to help with your branding and marketing to get you moving with QuickBooks Online, you should be able to find here as well. Then the last one is the tier benefits. As I said, this is only, I think, just over a week old now, maybe less than a week. But you can see here what the different statuses of the tiers are. So when you're, as per this file, if you've only got a couple of clients on there and no certifications, then you'll be sitting at bronze. So as you get more clients onto QuickBooks and also move through the certifications, then you'll get further and further along. And then, of course, there's different benefits as well. So as you become a gold or a platinum, then Intuit will provide you with some marketing funding. So the platinum is valued at $750. I'm not quite sure what the gold one is valued at, but that $750 can be used towards doing some joint marketing with Intuit to assist your firm. Okay. The next bit, let's jump in and look at the Pro Advisor bit, okay, because that was relevant. Okay, so on the top right again, we've got our little face. And this is where we can set up our Pro Advisor user profile. So at the moment, yep, I can see here I'm just getting started. I haven't done anything. So make sure you do spend some time doing this. So my real one is really strong profile, and as I said, I get leads through those, it definitely does help you to grow your business. So you can upload your photograph, add some details in here simply by clicking on the pencil, complete the different areas, and then you want to go through and provide a little bit more information. How big's your firm? How long have you been in business for? What sort of offerings do you have? Okay, so, tick here all the ones that apply. Do you offer tax services? Do you offer other sort of services? Okay. Are you on social media? If so, upload your different things there. Again, it's making it easy for people to find you and engage with you. What are you an expert in? Okay, tick QuickBooks Online. Obviously, that's all we can tick at this point. Other credentials. Okay, what sort of backgrounds do you have? Are you a, and there's nothing here that allows us to say, AAT or anything like that, but yeah, so you click bookkeeper in that case. Reviews, and so this is probably one of the key things as well. Once you become a Pro Advisor and you have your Pro Advisor portal all set up, then actively ask your clients, or the ones that you've completed some training or setups for, actively ask them for a review. So what that means is you would provide them with the link to access this area here, and they can then add a review onto your profile. So that review allows others to find you as well. So like with everything, I don't know about you, but when I'm booking accommodation and things like that, or anything, buying something online, I always check out the reviews as well. And if there's lots of really great reviews, well, it certainly encourages you to want to engage in that thing you're looking to buy. It's exactly the same thing here. So the more reviews you have, and they can give you 5-star ratings or 1-star, hopefully never. But the more reviews that a client does for you, the better it looks for you, and people can read those reviews and see what sort of work they've done for you and why they think you're a 5-star person. So as a matter of course, what I do when I've got clients coming through this platform, when we're finished, I send them a follow-up email and say, would you mind providing a review against my profile, and while you're at it, if you really like us, then do a review on Facebook or whatever it might be as well for us. So there's nothing wrong with actively asking for a review, because it's how we all make our businesses grow. Alrighty, so the next bit we have in our practice is our work tab. So this work tab is a management tool for your practice. And what you can do here is you can see this one here, we've got a green dot, so that means it's actually telling us about work that needs to be done in my connected QuickBooks file. So this is for the file I Love My Job, and QuickBooks is saying I have 90 unaccepted transactions. So I could access this file directly from here. And then the other tasks I have here are ones that I have created. So these are where I can create ongoing tasks, one-off tasks. I can also add checklists and things like that to my tasks. So whether I'm working for myself or whether I'm working with a team, I can then also repeat these projects that I've created and assign people to do them and things like that. So each of my team members would see this their own work platform, and would see the different projects and tasks that they have for themselves to do. So, for example, if they were assigned this client and that was their responsibility, they would see that there's some banking transactions there to do. So coming up to BAS time, IAS, year-end, all those sort of different processes, we can create those as a project. And this one here is a 3-step project which I've quickly created, and my 3 steps are to reconcile the withholding account, reconcile clearing account, and reconcile super. And then I can go ahead and do my monthly IAS, for example. You can also see here what we call a task. Okay, so this or a request. So this has been sent to the client requesting June quarter bank statements. So let's have a look and see how all of this sort of fits in. Okay, on this one here too, you can see here from QuickBooks, if I hide that one there, it takes away the direct QuickBooks task, which was the bank transaction. So if that clutters for me, then I can hide that from view. I can also look at specific types of clients, and I can just also tailor this to say, okay, just show me the projects, or just show me the individual tasks, those sort of things as that. So if I click on projects, for example, it's showing me the different projects that I've got there. I can also change the format of the view. So what we've got here, I can never remember what this is called, Kanban I think it's called, which allows me to also, I think, is it going to allow me? No, it's not going to allow me to move it, but I can move it. No, I can't. Okay. And then I've got list view. Okay, so once I'm in list view here, I can see all sorts of different things as well, and I can filter. I can apply filters, so I can apply filters to date range, and again by statuses and those sort of things as well. So it really depends on what your preference is, how easy on the eye it is, different views. People like different ways of doing things. Personally, I like the Kanban view. It just, I don't know, it has more of an impact for me. But everyone to their own in that regard. Okay, so how do we create a project, for example? So top right-hand corner, new project. So we might say quarterly BAS. I'm spelling that right. So I want to select a client first. So use my favourite one, and this is going to be due, let's say, the end of 24th of August, for example. I can set that as a repeat cycle so that it's going to then repeat every quarter on the 24th of every quarter. So November, February and May. So that sort of ticks in about right. And then I can add some details there, lots of text there if I wanted to do. And then I can apply tasks. So these tasks sit underneath the project and can be almost like a checklist, if you like. So depending on, if you're currently using checklists from a spreadsheet or a Word doc or something like that, you might want to tailor those, and add them as specific tasks under here. What I would do, or what I do, is rather than actually, put each individual task, which is the tick box of the checklist that we have, is I'd sort of group those things together, much like what you saw in my IAS one, which was a reconcile PAYG. Rather than going through all the individual lines of what to look for, or what areas or whatever it might be, there might be more involved in that task of reconciling PAYG withholding than just one tick box, and I've just sort of consolidated it down to being just that one task. So it's really depends on how you want to address this, and again, it's one of those things that you need to sort of play with to get some experience on as well. So if we just add a task here, for example, might have here is reconcile bank accounts. So rather than saying reconcile bank account, ABC, XYZ, all the different ones, it's just a general reconcile bank account. And we want to have that done, for example, by, middle of July. So we can add some more details there if we wanted to, and then we can add another task. And we can say reconcile credit card. And you can see how we can build that up. And again, set it to June 20, and then let's just save that, for example. Okay, so if we now look at, down we go. Okay, we've got here, where's my monthly, where's my quarterly BAS go? Am I going blind? Reconcile bank account, reconcile credit cards, and probably didn't save my project, did I? Anyway, I'm not quite sure where it's gone. All right, so if I want to find my project, let me jump into this one here, for example. So here's my IAS, and I can add additional tasks. I can also move things around in there, and I can, it's on a, I can do a, it is on a repeat cycle. I can also copy those different projects that I've got. You can see this is a copy. So, for example, I can create it once and then I can copy it and then I can use it for other customers as well. So this one here, monthly IAS, is a copy. It's added to Beb's Boutique, whereas this was the original creation here. We've also got the, we can change, we can look at the status of these things: in progress, done, cancelled. So as we go through, we can change these statuses to say that this one's done, for example. Okay, so it's giving you little, pats on the backs there to do. We can also assign it. So if you've got more than one active team member, so in this particular file, I'm the only active team member, but if I've got different active team members, I can assign those tasks to different team members as well. So that allows them to review it. So then I could also, check out, what different team members have got to do, and it keeps it on their system as well. Okay, so the other thing we can do is create a client request. So like this one here, under my July 5, I've got a request here for June quarter bank statements. So a client request actually kicks back onto their file. So it's pretty cool. So what we do here is create a client request. So we give it a name, those sort of things, and we can we can share a document with them, and if we wanted to. But in this case of requesting bank statements, we're not sharing. We're asking for something. And down the bottom here is notify client. So when we have that ticked, the client will actually get an email to say your accountant has requested you for some information. So in your file, next time you log on, you'll be able to see what that actual is. And I'm going to show you now what that actually looks like. So I'll just cancel out of that. Okay, so that's pretty much an overview of what the different things are: a project, task, and client request. They're the three key things that you can do in this screen here. If you're a Slack user, you can also connect it to Slack. So Slack is a communication tool that we use internally between team members. And so you can connect up this file to Slack, which then adds another level of communication for different activities between team members. So let's go back to our client list. So these are the clients. Well, you can see your QuickBooks client because you've got the QB icon here. So these other clients, if I show you my books, remember I said this is the free Your Books that comes with your QuickBooks Online Accountant. If I click into the Sales tab of this, okay, you'll see that those customers have come from here. Okay, so these are internal customers as opposed to clients. And look, they may be one of the same. So if you were using this Your Books for your actual practice, then quite likely a lot of the clients you have in your practice would be QuickBooks Online users, and you'd have QB icons there. So that's where that sort of comes from. So in this case, we're going to look at the I Love My Job client. And so I've got, if I click onto the name, it's going to take me into the client information. If I click on QuickBooks icon, it's going to take me directly into their active QuickBooks Online file. So I don't want to go into that file yet. I want to show you some information about my client. So click on the name. And you can see here now there's 3 tabs. Okay, so we've got some notes, so you might want to add some notes there, things like this client's a really crap payer, make sure you receive payment up front before you do any work, or whatever it might be. Joe loves Collingwood, make sure you wear black and white when you go and see him. This is where you can add all those notes, and all your team members can see them. The bookkeeping tab gives you an overview of this particular client accounts and what's actually actively happening with that file. So you can see here, this is like the balance sheet of the different accounts and current account balances, and then reconciled statuses. So this is this file's obviously hasn't been reconciled for a while, a bit of work to do, etc., etc. But this gives you a really good overview of the client file before you actually enter the client file. And again, here you can see 90 unaccepted transactions, and there's been some changes to a reconciled account. So once again, you can see here the QB icon, and so this is another way of taking you into the file. So before we were in the consolidated list of our clients, and we could have clicked onto the QB icon next to our client name. If I click on the client name, it takes me to this screen, and then I can go further into the client file by clicking on the icon here. Okay, so 2 ways of getting into the file. The third tab here is the shared documents. So shared documents is where the client has uploaded some files to share with me, or I have downloaded some files to the file as well. So, for example, this one here, the statement, the client has uploaded that, and the financials, I have added that to the shared documents, and the client will be able to see that. So we can add new ones simply by clicking on upload here. So how does this all look for the client? Okay, so if we click back to the bookkeeping tab, I'm going to click on the plus sign here, which is going to take me directly into the file. So what we're getting now is the client view. So you can see again, we know that we're our accountant user. We've got the black line here, it says accountant in the corner. So we know we've accessed this file as an accountant user, but we've got what we call the client view with a couple of little extra bits and pieces that you as an accountant have. User functionality, for example, this briefcase gives you a few extra bits and pieces of functions, which I'm not going to go in today's short session. But we have this tab here called My Accountant. So let's have a look at that. Okay, so we've got two tabs. We've got Requests and we've got Shared Documents. So remember when we were in the Accountant view and we were under the Tasks area, and I had a button there for Request. And my request was to the client for the June quarter bank statements. So that email that client would have received would have indicated to them that there's a request waiting from their accountant. And if I click into it, it opens it up and we can see a bit of a track of what's been going on. So my message was, please attach the June statement for credit card and banks. So there's a statement uploaded here. So the first thing, the client said, I'm missing the credit card statement, what should I do? And then my reply was, log into your bank and locate the statement there, and then there's a statement being uploaded. So you could have a conversation with your client directly within the program, rather than emailing to and fro. So that gives you an example of how to do that. So I've left it in progress because there's still more documents to be uploaded. And then if we look at the Shared Documents tab, you should see the statement and also the financials. So exactly the same view that we had from our side. Okay. So the requests, just to make note that the requests are coming from you to your client. It's not the client requesting something from you. Okay, so it's top down, whereas the shared is something that's between the two of you. You can upload, they can upload. Okay, so let's go back to the accountant portal. So clicking on accountant will take me directly back to our accountant platform. And directly back into our client list. Okay, so the very last tab here is apps. So apps are used to enhance the program. So QuickBooks Online is a great accounting program, but there's times when there are functionalities that can be better performed by other third-party apps. So, for example, here you can see ServiceMate is a program they used typically in the service industry for scheduling and things like that, and that connects beautifully to QuickBooks Online. So you can also see here, some of these have got, as I pass over them, you can see here there's a discounted price. So you as an accountant user can connect up your clients to these apps on their behalf, and the charging of those apps would go through, or can go through you. And you can see that these apps are providing a generous discount to the accountant user or bookkeeper user. So through the QuickBooks Online accountant platform, if you're signing up your clients, then you're getting a generous discount on the apps, as opposed to if the client were to sign up directly to that platform. So once again, the discount can be passed on, or it's an opportunity to generate some extra revenue by charging on a recommended retail. So definitely something to look at. So in the, if you remember when we were in our Pro Advisor tab and we looked at certification tab there was that PDF for the pathways to certification. There's quite an extensive section there which teaches you, how to connect up the apps on behalf of your client. So, definitely if you're not a online accountant user yet, or are a Pro Advisor but have yet to do any certifications, do yourself a favour and download that PDF. Have a good look through it, go through it in conjunction with the sort of things we've been looking at today, but also consider signing up some of these apps directly on behalf of your clients. So the apps themselves, you can browse by category if you wanted to find something specific. Say for example, I don't know, human resources. That's an interesting one. Okay, so I was wondering what would come up there. Okay, so different things here to do with uploading of receipts or time clocking or whatever it might be. So quickly you can see that Expensify offers a discount, whereas the other ones here don't. So that doesn't stop you from actually using them by all means, but it's just that these apps have yet to engage in any sort of discounted program with Intuit. Okay, so if we go back to all apps, the other part about this system here under apps, so you can find the apps and you've also got client apps, firm apps. So the client apps is a way to obviously link up the apps on behalf of your client, but it also shows you the apps that your clients have got linked up. So even if they're linking up apps on their behalf, on their own behalf, you would see those linked up here. So in this case, you can see KeyPay is linked to the I Love My Job file because KeyPay is the payroll program that Intuit uses in QuickBooks Online. So it's a fully embedded program, but essentially it is a third-party app, fully integrated into the program. So it is a connected app. If I had T-sheets here, for example, you would see that here as well. Then the third tab over is firm apps, and these are the apps that are connected to the firm itself. Okay, so the firm being under your books, and this is the app that is then connected here. So if you're not using your books at all, there shouldn't be anything to display here. Okay. I think that is pretty much it. Probably about on time with what my schedule was. Now, I do want to open it up to questions. So if we want to have that facilitated, or people can take themselves off mute, I don't know how you actually want to do that.
Okay, hi everyone. So I'm Nicole for the latecomers. Thanks for joining us today. I'm going to unmute you all. Right there. Whoa. So there is also
maybe not unmute everyone.
No, maybe if you could mute yourself. Oh, that's a lot better, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Okay, so I just wanted to remind you all about the chat feature there. If you're a little bit camera shy or voice shy, feel free to join up with any questions using that feature as well. So Diane, that was a really interesting overview today. I'm really impressed with some of the features.
Well, I just realised one thing that I didn't show, and while people are thinking of their questions, I'm just going to talk quickly about the wholesale billing. Because remember, I said I might want to mute them all again for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember your account. So QuickBooks has.
I'll bind it.
Is that me?
No, I think I found the culprit.
Okay, so QuickBooks has the Simple Start, Essentials, and Plus, and each of those can be added in as a new. You can set up those files on behalf of your client. So these would sit under your account. And I actually don't have anyone sitting here, but because this is, as I said before, it's a dummy file. But if you have added a new client and you've purchased the program or subscribed to the program on their behalf, they would all sit under here as your wholesale client. So you'd see the listing here. You would also see, you know, what the product is, what the price you're paying is, all those sort of things. So if, for example, I had a simple start program, which is the bottom end program, and they need to upgrade to a higher function, then I could actually upgrade them through this area here. I could also take over a file. So say someone's not been involved with me, they had a previous bookkeeper or accountant, and now they have moved over to direct management, for example. I could then take on the billing on their behalf and move them to the my wholesale billing account. Okay, so I can benefit from reducing the subscription fee of that client file, and you know, again, I could pass on those savings if I wanted to. So this is where you manage all your billing area. So under the gear icon and your account, if you've got client files that you manage, this is where you would find them all, and where you can do things like upgrade them, add them to wholesale billing, remove them from wholesale billing if you are no longer actively involved in that client, and all those sorts of things. All right, so anyway, that's, I just wanted to make sure that you all got that bit. All right, so questions, please inundate me.
Sure. So I've got the chat feature going if anyone's got anything they'd like to ask. And you're all on mute. So if you do have a question you'd like to ask through the mic, just hit me up on the chat feature and I will unmute you. Very quiet.
I know.
You must have explained yourself really thoroughly, Diane.
Oh, okay. All right. Just as because you can all see my screen. So again, let me just go back here. It'd be really interesting to know how many people are actively pro advisors with Intuit or not. But remember, intuit.com.au, that's your starting position. Partner program, and click on that, and then log in to join. Okay, so this is where you'd start. You know, a bit of blurb. You know, it's all free, and everything's always free in that regard. So the same with the management, the work app here. This is all free, so it's, you know, it's there for you to use. And you know, it's a great tool that Intuit are putting together. So this has only been around probably in this level, you know, over 12 months, but it has, you know, increased in functionality since then, and it's only going to get better and better. So you know, depending on the size of your firm would depend on how useful this area is for you, but definitely for a smaller firm, I think it's got some great functions in here, and it keeps it all in one place, which is even more important. But meanwhile, if you are already a pro advisor, don't forget to update your pro advisor profile and get into the actual certification events as well. So certification is offered for free by Intuit. There's two methods for that, webinars and self-paced, and you can access those, you know, through here. Once you've, or you can book yourself in, I should say. If we go back to here, under training, okay, you've got self-study, live webinars, and classroom. So if you click on Find a Trainer here, you'll find myself and a few others. So we do offer classroom training, but it is a paid event. Whereas these two offerings are free, and basically, you know, the self-paced is a great way to, you know, do it yourself. Take your time to do it, and you can sit down and obviously watch some repeats and things like that. If you like the face-to-face, then this is, you know, as I said, it is a paid service though. yeah, certification is definitely the way to get some more information about, or greater understanding about the program. Yeah, definitely encourage you to do that. But meanwhile, at the very least, get yourself onto the pathway, get some more information about the QuickBooks Online Accountant by downloading that PDF. So hopefully we've got some more questions now.
Oh, looks like we've got a very quiet bunch today.
All right.
So today I'm representing the Association of Accounting Technicians, known as AAT. Yeah, I'd like to take this opportunity to encourage you to check out our website as well, and see what information we have to offer. I'd really like to thank you today, Diane, for the time you've taken to run through this overview of what really looks like a great product. So thanks very much for that.
You're very welcome.
And it seems like you've already offered the opportunity, you've directed where you can get backup support through QuickBooks Accountant. So yeah, I'm sure if there's any follow-up questions, that's the place to go. And
absolutely. So, I mean, that number there is not just for software support. So if you want to find out more information, you can ring that number, and you'll get directed to the right sort of channel anyway. Good to have somebody looking after them, and that person, you can, like here, for example, it's popped up. Okay, so I could ring that number there, which is the sales line. Dedicated email address here as well. So yeah, there's definitely more than one way to get some assistance and get someone to assist you with working it all out. Otherwise, yeah, encourage you to do it.
Looks fantastic. Thanks so much for your time today. Final opportunity. Any questions before logging off? Anybody? You still have an opportunity to do so.
Going once, going twice. The gavel's going to drop.
Oh, there you go. Now, remember the issues I had trying to start this meeting?
How do you stop it?
Are you all going to witness me trying to end it? This could be interesting. I have to admit, technology isn't my strong point, so thank you for your patience with the start.
Well, shall I teach you how to do it? You reduce the screen size down.
Oh my goodness.
Take it off full screen, reduce it down, click on the X, and then exit for all.
Oh, no.
I love Zoom. It works really well.
It does. I'm usually on the receive, the watching.
Yeah, that's right.
But, not sitting there trying to work out how to master the whole thing. Thanks.
Well, I hope the people joining you had an enjoyable experience on Zoom as well.
Well, it seems we've had a message from Glenn. Thanks very much to you too. Yeah, that was a very thorough presentation. Now, I'm going to work this out. This is going to be a little embarrassing. I think I'll stop recording now.